Right.
And then just let
Sorry,
everybody
right?
know that it's already
Yeah.
recording. All right,
Great, yeah, thank you so much.
And-
That's awesome.
if you'll just let me know when you're leaving,
Okay.
town administration down. Sort of where I saw you.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
yeah, I know.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks,
cool, thank you.
Maureen. Thank you.
Yay.
Went without a hitch today.
Mm-hmm,
Look at, somebody else is coming on.
great.
Isaac's here, Posey's here, Diane's here, Ella's about to join.
Okay.
Isaac, you're driving. That's scary.
Hello?
No, I'm back.
Cool.
Well, so how tricky was that, Katie?
So easy. Yeah, I'll be able to do it again next time. She gave me the instructions. Has all the sign in stuff up here, and she just needed to give me the links, so
Yeah, nice. Okay.
went
Well,
without a hitch.
to hell with you, Jacob.
Mhm.
As soon as Ella joins, we'll have a quorum. So then we can do the old call to order thing. Um, So Isaac, we've got two new colleagues at Sustainable Nantucket. Katie being the most recent. She's joined Diane as our assistant farm to school manager. And I don't know if you guys have met yet, but
Mm, Probably not yet.
not yet. Okay. Well, soon enough. She
Yeah.
just taught a whole class to fifth graders last week on vermiculture and with how to they're doing a classes on recycling matter, and so the session was about using worms for composting.
Mhm.
Fighting.
Yeah.
Sadly, all the worms that we ordered um, died in transit because they froze to death.
Mhm.
Oh,
Slightly
So
problematic.
sad.
I know.
But there was a few to show the kids. They got to hold some and name them, so they got the fun part. I just said, if you wanted to really do it, you might need some more.
Hiya.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
We
Hi.
can.
yes.
Awesome. Isaac, Diane, Posey, and Katie must be in the town office or not.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Katie's there holding down the fort.
But did we need, I mean, it doesn't matter now, but we can hold these meetings without going in, right?
You don't have to go in, but somebody has to get the code to enable the link. And that's
Um,
Maureen Coleman helped Katie do that.
yeah.
So
Okay, good.
thank God we have somebody on the ground. Any rate, it seems appropriate since it's been a while since we've had a meeting, to call the meeting to order. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion and a second? Thank you, Ella, and you guys are going to be doing a lot of this today.
So if we don't have a quorum,
Can I second as a no? Do you
No.
have to like a okay? I'm going
Yeah.
back on mute.
That's okay. We have a total of 5 on the commission, and it's Isaac, Ella, myself, Jacob Tinkhauser, and Kelly Steffen. Kelly, I think needs to either come more frequently or offer up his seat to be, we just need to have it easier to get a quorum. But I'll talk to him on the outside on that. We put together an agenda that, thank you for everybody who contributed.
so is 3 enough for a quorum?
3 is enough
Is
for quorum,
okay.
yes. Yeah. So a quorum has been met. We've called to order. I guess I'm gonna go through this drill. Acceptance of the agenda.
Motion.
Okay, motion
Motion.
approved. Isaac seconds. I'm just gonna ditto. I don't believe we have any special announcements. I don't believe we have any public comment questions from prior meetings. And I'd like to go directly to new business if that's okay. And for those of us who have, sometimes it sounds a little bit like an echo chamber because it's generally the same people in the room at the same time. But for those who are the outside audience, that would be Katie and Diane. I think the discussions we've been having around the topic of biochar have been extremely interesting, and seem like a perfect solution to many problems on Nantucket. The background on it is that American Farmland Trust approached probably both Isaac and Sustainable Nantucket, Land Bank and Sustainable Nantucket, to see whether there were any farmers who wanted to do pilot projects using biochar on their farms. And for those unfamiliar, biochar is a process by which feedstock wood matter is burnt in a machine called a pyrolytic machine.
Pyrolysis, yeah.
Pyrolysis is the way it happens. And the end product is super nutrient rich, material that not only combusts all the stuff that we are now wondering what to do with, the wood chips from southern pine beetle devastation of our forests. You could put in knotweed, you could put in untreated pallets, you can put in all kinds of material that burns, and you get the carbon from it. And that carbon, when mixed with other organic matter, like some of the materials from either Nantucket Gold at the dump or Toscana, turns into really, really fertile soil for just about anything. So we've had a number of meetings about this. At the last meeting, White Feather Farms, Bill Hilgendorf gave a presentation, holy crap, on the different kinds of machines that one could use, the cost, the amount of material they can burn, the kinds of material that you can input into them, and then talked about things like other uses beyond just soil. He was referring to stormwater remediation. He was referring to acting as filtration for PFAS. So many of the things that we talk about all throughout different town committees could well have, a means of utilizing biochar. And so really what we're now looking at is, well, which size machine, if we were to get one, which size machine would we get? Where would we site it? Who would operate it? Who would have the benefit of the material coming out of it? How much money would be saved by the town by not shipping all these wood chips off island? What is the forestry plan of Conservation Foundation and Land Bank? So how many years of
Who's buying
material?
the machine? Land
Huh?
Bank or the town? Who's
No,
buying the
it's
machine?
not been determined whether we should or who's going to buy it. But I'm
We as Nantucket.
as an island. Who on the island thinks this is a great idea? Who can afford it? Who's going to manage it?
And
who
the
will benefit
farmers,
from
I
it?
didn't get to come to that meeting. I know Ray went to it, but do the farmers want that? Or I mean, if you build it, they'll come, right? They'll use it if you have it.
Yeah, what the American Farmland Trust did a soil survey with National Resource Conservation, NRCS, and because Nantucket's predominant soil type is clay, biochar is like spot on. Between sand and clay, which is what we have, biochar really binds soil nicely. We had some landscapers on the last call. Somebody from Bartlett Tree. I don't think Dale was on, but maybe he was, the town arborist. And really what American Farmland Trust wants to do is get buy-in from farmers on the island to do field studies. And I've seen their preliminary budget. Isaac, I'm sure you've seen it as well.
Yes, I have.
It was something like $300,000 over 5 years. And it would be really helpful to them to have a site where a field study could be managed. They want to help manage it. They want to do the record keeping and they want to have a very active role in it because they're doing field studies in different kinds of farms all over the US. And I'd like to be helpful, but I don't want to cough up $300,000. And the kind of background question is, why don't we just buy the machine? And if we do a field trust, we do a field trial, we do a field trial. But if it can benefit the entire island, it would be good to know who wants to take ownership of this thing.
If I can interject for a second.
Please.
So about the field trials, because of the price, the farmers couldn't afford it, and only Dan was willing to start because he's always on the calls. Dylan wants it, Aiden would have, but probably not ready to raise that money. So AFT wanted Land Bank and Remain to fund the trials, but then we both agreed and told them, unless we're using Nantucket biochar at the moment, we wanted to divert all the energy to production rather than doing field trials with biochar that is just brought on the island from somewhere else. That's why the last meeting we had was really targeting production of biochar on the island. So with that, we told them it's important to have the field trials to show the farmers how much to use, how to apply it effectively. But we asked them to make that as phase 2, which will come as just lessons to farmers after we have started producing our own. So at this moment, we channeled the efforts to see what it takes to produce it on Nantucket. So if we are to do those trials to teach the farmers, we'll be using our own biochar.
Well, that's a good update, Isaac. I'm glad to hear that Land Bank and Remain are sort of working on this in tandem. Not Conservation Foundation yet, or?
Not yet. So
Yeah.
Conservation Foundation will follow, but we haven't really had them join the meetings effectively. But as you know, the first meetings were for us to understand before we can invite others. So going forward, we will have to invite all the different parties that can play a role, and Conservation Foundation has a lot of feedstock that we will need to use. Yeah, but it's a research, not like I speak for them, but they are a research organization. So most of the time they'll have to ask for some data which AFT will need from the rest of us to be able to provide it to them and help in their decision making.
Right.
Yeah.
I would imagine that whether Nantucket Audubon, Linda Loring, and other conservation not-for-profits on the island also have sufficient woods, forest land where maintaining forestry standards that prohibit or reduce the amount of southern pine beetle would be beneficial. And I think there's just a lot of material that we could burn. So I don't know, did you and Anne have any further discussions about which of the many machines seem to make the most sense to you? Like, I like the $600,000 one.
Yeah. So Land Bank went to Martha's Vineyard to look at that ban curtain. And it looks like they have an issue with it. They don't seem to like it so much because it's like an open ban with fans blowing down the emissions. It's the easiest to get, but it is the one that emits more than the rest. So they were like, if we could try to lean more towards the mobile, which is on a trailer and a little bit sophisticated and a little bit expensive, but efficient and reduces any risk of fire and having to like open up a big tract of land to just have it stationed.
Hmm,
Yeah.
okay. Has there been discussion about timing at all about, you know,
No timing, but I think borrowing a leaf from what happened with the Venson processing, we agreed, like, I think Remain is trying to organize a trip to any of the biochar processing facilities, so we can really, even the one that cut the open burn cut, it's just that we are basing on hearsays, but if we go and look at it working at Martha's Vineyard again, right now with an open mind of acquiring one, see how it works, that may make everything different. So when she finds the place that is willing to have us, she will then open it, mention it in the open meeting that we will have next. And so every one of us can be able to go and see how it works. And from there we could choose, but there is no timeline. As we say,
yeah.
AFT was meant to present it on the same day with you to the commission, but they didn't have enough information at that moment.
Hmm,
So they will present it probably in the near future. And before it goes to the commission, we really don't know how the timeline will be or how they are even going to support, but we want to have everything ready before they go to the commission to reduce on any possibility of saying no.
yep.
Yeah.
It's always good to have the groundwork laid.
Yeah.
Have Isaac, have you or anyone on the commission gone over to the Cape to that group over there?
No, so I spoke to that Cape Cod biochar, and he gave me a quote that I shared with you. I think at some moment was like 3,000 consultation for one day for him to come to Nantucket. But
Mm,
when Rachel asked for more information, he didn't provide that
right.
information, and we didn't proceed with him. But I think it's one of the places that Andohar is looking into for us to go and visit.
Mm. And
Yeah.
then, I feel confident saying this. I stopped at White Feather Farm this fall when I was on a motorcycle trip out there. And Bill,
Yeah.
I met with Bill, although I didn't get to go down to the wood lot because it was like he was in the midst of something, so it wasn't convenient. But they have places for us to stay and everything. We could just go there. And if you want me to ask my board member Sarah or Bill if we could go take a trip and have a field trip to go look at that operation, that would be easy.
All right, that sounds good. I can start an email group with you, me, Anne, and Rachel, so we can brainstorm on the best place to go. They were thinking of an easier place to go and come back, but if there is space for us to stay in New York, maybe it comes into the picture too, and it's not far.
Sarah is very passionate about biochar, so
Yeah.
I can easily ask her, and I know they have visiting people all the time, so I suspect that it'd be easy enough for us to all just stay at one of their buildings. Um,
Yeah,
it's not that
that
far
would
away.
be,
It's in Saugerties. Outside of Woodstock, New York. So not
yeah.
that. Okay, well, that's something that I'm very excited about. And I did love the fact that some of the landscapers that were on the call said they're already using biochar. So they must be shipping it onto the island to mix with fertilizer or compost.
Somebody brought a bag of dirt over that had a big like mixed with biochar over
Hmm,
to Ray like 2 years ago. So
yeah.
people have been. I've seen that was the first time I saw it. Was that
Yeah.
before this whole conversation started? Somebody brought us a bag of compost that said, but it was like the buzzword. So it was a landscaper that brought it over. So it's
Mhm.
definitely something that's on island that people are buying.
Yeah. Well, I could go back to the notes. I can't remember which landscaper it was, but at any rate,
That was from Barrett Tree Experts.
yeah, it was Bartlett's, and then there was another guy that was saying, "Oh yeah, we spread it on, on all of the around all the hedges and bushes and stuff. I'm all shit. That's great. Anyway, doesn't matter. We know who they are. We'll find them. But Bartlett's definitely. All right. I have talked to Dylan Wallace about timing going from the time we want to have our training with Taz Armstrong, counting backwards roughly 60 days to arrange for our chicken slaughter training program. And I believe in order to get everything blessed by Mass Department of Public Health and our own Board of Health, that we need to invite the Director of Mass Department of Public Health for this matter, Neil Talbot, to come to this session, this training session. And again, Isaac, jump in if you know more and you've already worked on it from the aspect of doing something over at Boynton. But we have all the equipment in the van. I've got all the boxes that one would transfer chickens to the site, all available. We are gonna probably set up all of the equipment over by the compost pile and do just to kind of turn it all on, make sure it all works, plug in the water, and then sanitize everything so that we can do a dry run. Maybe I'll consult with Taz about the right way to go about that. But we have all the material. It's just a matter of being ready so that when we do set up this slaughter training, then we can get everybody certified, if you will. And then Dylan, however many chickens he wants to slaughter, probably not a lot, but we'll at least have him, go through the entire process, bag, tag, and transport them off-site in a refrigerated van to his cold storage. And then, that'll be our first training. We had a meeting today, staff meeting, Isaac, where we also talked about notifying everybody on the island who keeps chickens who might also want to learn how to properly slaughter chickens for their own consumption. So we might do a 2-day thing, just because we want to make sure everybody who is interested in this has an opportunity to learn and, do it the right way. But I was hoping that you could tell us, having, you brought the folks from Reed Farm over, where does the land bank stand at this point with finding a site where it might also be able to provide location for chicken slaughter?
Yes. So the land bank really just wants to utilize 19 Boynton as much as we possibly can, because the deer season ended 14th February and it will open again in September. So that means the facility will be open or unutilized for all this time until the hunting season starts again. And that will be the cycle for the entire remaining years or coming years. So the commission wanted us to find what we can use the building for. It's not really suited to do many things. It wasn't built to be a processing center. For example, the drains are not probably the best to handle blood and all that. So the question was, how could we make it a possibility that we could process at least chickens, which are the easiest that people can raise on Nantucket, compared to probably raising cattle and sheep that will require a lot to be raised so that we can have a USDA inspector on site, which that makes everything hard. So it's only poultry or custom processed four-legged livestock that we could handle. And that building in the basement that we're using for venison processing, we could use it for poultry too if it's reconfigured. And for that to happen, we need to set up the space, set up demarcation that really separates venison from poultry, and set up a new cooler workstation, and also make the internal part of the basement excluded from the entire building, so that if we do any slaughter and scalding with all the smell, doesn't go up into the food pantry, which is not really an easy task, but we were told to do that by the commission, and we're looking into it. We don't have a time frame right now of what it would take us to especially alter the building, because that's the main issue, especially the drainage system. Because if blood runs into the drainage, even though it's diluted with hot water, after so much accumulation, the blood coagulates and blocks the drainage. So once the building crew of the land bank figures out the best way we can do that, then the rest of the process is like the MPPU. You need to get somebody to train who is certified to train in the brick and mortar processing unit, which I think Peter that I brought to your office from Reed Farm is certified to do so. I don't know if Taz is. And then you go to the health department and then the state and get the license, which we were thinking, because you're going to have a license for the MPPU. We're thinking if we could get one for small enterprise exemption, which allows the farmers to further process, like make cuts and make sausages if they wish, and be
Right.
able to sell to grocery stores.
Restaurants.
Maybe that would
Okay.
provide some extra services that maybe the MPPU cannot be able to provide, or if we could merge, like the commission was asking if it's possible to just merge and do it together. But at that point, we don't know how much time we need. But we're trying our best to be able to have everything set before the next deer season starts. That way, even though we're not able to process this year, the following year we set once the deer season is gone, if it requires separation of the space. But we were told we could just add another cooler inside the building, which is dedicated to poultry. And in doing so, we could easily run both at the same time. Yeah.
Cool.
I think have you guys done any surveys? Because we're happy to do it. I did it initially, but just to find out who else is interested in raising meat birds, because
Yeah, we didn't do any big survey. We just spoke to land bank farmers that raise on or
Yeah.
grow stuff on land bank. We spoke to Ray Owen, Dylan. Dylan, we've been consulting just even from Venison, because he was running such a program before. And Mosen Farm, we spoke to Sam. So Sam already has some birds, and he says he has whatever he has because that's what he can handle, and that those are layers. But if there is a facility and the charge is within what can allow the business to run, then he can raise birds. And it was the same answer with Dylan and Tom Lalaby.
Mhm.
So, but that is a small number. But actually, the other only one that was an exception was Ballett's Farm, and Dave says he looked into it. He went all the way to try and make their farm poultry, to grow the poultry part of their farm, and he knows whatever needs to be done, but the price of running the facility is what stopped him. So it's like, if we really set up this facility and the price of slaughtering or processing the birds for him is reasonable enough, he is more than capable of raising a lot of birds.
Yeah,
But
great.
that was for only those farmers that we could easily get two, but if we could run a survey, like you said, a WhatsApp group of all those that raise birds, because those can bring, like the ones I've mentioned, can be able to bring like 100 birds every 2 weeks, for example. But other small farmers, the if you get the permit, it allows you to like pool farmers and have 3 different farmers on the same day, and that can make all the other farmers also able to bring in.
Yeah, there's a lot of cleaning and the business of commingling farms, from what I've learned is, if you have Dylan do 150 birds, you have to then completely clean everything. And
Yeah.
then that truck has to go out with that farmer's birds. Then the next farmer comes in. The whole biosecurity issue is interesting and we need to, make sure we're adhering to all the rules. But
Yeah.
most people don't want to raise too many at a time because they have to have a market for it. And, what is the market? The restaurants might be willing to buy these birds. I don't know, they're the ones, it's their business. We're just providing a free service. Our
Yeah.
whole motive was, if we have the service available, then the people who want to do it will do it. I mean, gosh, Aiden used to do,
It won't be free though, right?
it'll cover cost. And the
Yeah.
cost is the farmer has to participate. So the more people who are trained to slaughter, if they're all helping each other with their own birds, then your labor force is in effect quasi-free, like everybody's participating together.
Well, I thought we were talking about the processing center hiring somebody, and then as a farmer, you would come and pay that person to do that for you.
You can't not participate. Now, maybe you're cleaning stuff or something, but from what I've read, every farmer who brings his birds to an MPPU has to participate in some
Yeah. Well, the
capacity.
MPPU and the Boynton Lane are different like conversations, right? The
I guess.
MPPU would be, you're a farmer, you bring your chickens, you use the MPPU, and you then whatever, like it's all on you. But the Boynton Lane, it seems like there's going to be like a slaughter person that,
So
I mean, maybe not, but that's just in my mind kind of like you're paying for the
yeah,
service of having somebody slaughter your chickens for you. Maybe you're just paying to rent the facility to use it, but no matter what, there's going to be like a fee associated with using the equipment and right.
yeah. For them, for if Boynton starts to run, for Boynton, in the beginning we want every farmer to train so they can reduce on the amount of money they pay. However, we were told, because the license will be in my name or any manager's name that we will hire, if a farmer comes and, for example, slaughters their own birds, and probably 2 or 3 of those birds are sick and they just pass them through, then the license can be revoked, and that affects the rest of the farmers. So with that said, me as the holder of the license must be there every day that there is work being done, and examine the birds and do most of the stuff. But if we don't want the farmers to pay a lot of money and they have 2 workers on the farm, then they can be around and speed up the process, and then they pay less. However, if we have to hire people to do everything, then the farmers will pay more money, which is not right, which is what we're not trying to do, because even the land bank, just like POSI, it's just to cover the cost of running the facility, really, and maybe replacing any equipment that breaks down, not to try and get money, but to have a service for the community.
Right.
And the MPPU, one person will have a license like you, Posey, and you'll be there at everyone, or will each individual farmer have the license to use that MPPU at either their site or the farm? Like, is that a
My
different?
view is, I'm not going to be the person who's going to hold the license. I mean, I want to have all the materials, but that's why I want anybody who wants to raise meat birds to come and get licensed.
to use the MPPU on
Yeah,
their,
right, and follow the procedures and all that.
Cozy, if you find chance to talk to Taz, I don't know if after his training he gives the certificate, because I attended one last year at
Mhm.
Martha's Vineyard. They took the name but never sent me the certificate, so I don't know if I just say I attended or
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
technically certified or not.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm just certified because I know and I attended, but I have nothing to show. And I
interesting.
sent follow-up emails twice to
Okay.
the Ag Association of Martha's Vineyard, but didn't get anything. So probably you need to ask that.
I'll make a note, definitely.
And even the people that I trained with, the names remained in the office, and any farmer that wants help on Martha's Vineyard, they send them the list of people that trained, but those people didn't get the certificate too.
Interesting. Okay, well, there must be some holdup with MDR. I'll have to find out what that is.
All right.
But that's good to know, because yep, thank you for that.
So if you get that
Um,
license, Isaac, there doesn't, is that mean that there won't need to be a inspector that works for the USDA?
The point is not to have a USDA inspector. The point is
Yep.
MPPUs that are certified by the state, because there's certain exemptions under which the slaughter takes place, means that those who are certified can conduct however many slaughters they want, so long as the total number of birds from each farm doesn't exceed X. I can't remember what it is.
The whole year it's capped to 20,000 birds
Right.
that the MPPU can go through, and the same applies with the small enterprise exemptions, 20,000 total that you can go through. So that's up to you to schedule and know how many each farmer is going to bring
Right.
for a year, and yeah.
And
Yeah, I
then
don't see that happening anytime soon.
20,000 is crazy. Is there any possibility of, like, say you do the MPPU on your farm or at Sustainable Farm and then bring them to Boynton Lane to be refrigerated and processed further? Like, is that cool to do that if you don't slaughter them at the same place? Or do all the birds that go into, whatever future poultry freezer you have to be slaughtered on site there?
I'm pretty sure that with what we're doing, it's whole birds only. They cannot be, you can't break them up into thighs and necks
At
and
the MPP, if you process them in the MPPU, it's whole bird only. But
Yes.
where do you refrigerate them? Is that
they have to leave the site in a refrigerated truck and go to the, like, when Dylan brings his birds, he's the owner of the birds and transports them to wherever. If he's going to drop off 5 at Pip and Anchor and 5 at, Straight Wharf or whatever, those are his birds. Once they've left the MPPU, that's not my problem, but they have to leave in a refrigerated truck.
And would it be legally allowed for them to go to the Boynton Lane place or no? Because they're
I think so. It just
For
has
storage.
Yeah,
for storage.
Yeah, for storage, probably, yes.
yeah.
Because, like,
But
I
I
don't
mean,
have
like,
a
for
freezer.
example,
I don't have
Dylan
a
has
big
his
freezer.
own.
Yeah, Dylan
Dylan-
has everything, but I
Yeah.
don't. You know what I mean? Like, what would I do if I processed
Right.
20 birds? Where would I put them if I wasn't even if I wanted to do it for myself, right? Like, I want to process 20 birds and then eat them throughout the year.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna just do one at a time. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
right.
I need a place to put them as, like, if I go to this workshop and I learn how to slaughter chickens, yeah, I guess you could do it one at a time, but you're not gonna be using the MPPU. You're just gonna do it in your yard.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you want to get 20 chicks, raise them, slaughter them, have them for the winter. I mean, I guess if people have a chest freezer in their basement or whatever, but just kind of curious, like thinking different scenarios through for different, like, or even a farmer, like, yeah, you could give the birds right away, but no restaurant is going to buy 500, they're not going to buy them all at once. They'll take 10 this week, 10 next week, whatever it is. So
Right.
storage will be, Pip and
I
Anchor
need
has a huge amount of storage too. So maybe it won't be a problem, but just curious if that's, like, okay to bring,
Hmm.
to bring a a dressed bird into the Boynton Lane facility for storage, like if there'll be room for that.
Well, I don't know if the rules will say no to that as long as we're not processing it further. For space, I don't know about the space too, because the big fridge is taken over
Venison.
by Venison, but the freezer is small, but it can hold a lot of birds.
And what you were saying earlier about how like you can't have a shared fridge or freezer for different animals, is that even if it's seasonal, like it's a venison fridge from September to February, and then March through August it's a chicken fridge, or that's like a no-no?
It can even be within one day, as long as the
Clean it.
separation that they allow is either physical or separation by time. If you have 24 hours and you clean out all the venison, and tomorrow you can use it for chicken,
Okay.
and then clean it, sanitize it, and open it
Well, that's
for.
great that it won't be,
Yeah.
out of use for the entire summer, like that seasonality. And also people
Yeah.
probably, the demand for expensive chicken is going to be lower in the winter,
Yeah, right.
Like
The
people-
$40 chicken's a lot.
Most farmers are not going to raise birds in winter, because then there is no any grass to supplement the diet. It will only be grain, which is expensive, and not many customers in winter. So really most of the farmers will try to raise their birds in the summer.
Right.
Definitely,
So
yeah.
when I talked to Dylan, he said all of the big sources where you can buy chicks to raise for meat birds, they've sold out, So
Yeah.
you may not get any until April as it is. So then that'd be April, May. So not until we can't slaughter until June. It takes 60 days to raise a chicken
Yeah.
to size. So then that's June. And
Did he order
Actually,
birds?
I don't know. I told him I need to know because I gotta line everybody up. So just tell me when you're ordering and then we'll make sure it happens. But
yeah, so Peter from Reed Farm was saying he helps people with that because he has an account with all those big
right.
suppliers, and
Hatcheries, yeah.
he can easily add a number. Like if you want extra 300, he can just add it to his order and makes everything easier, because they try to certify their big purchases before they go to a farmer that just needs 100 or 300.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good to know. All right. On that topic,
Mm.
Ag Day. You want to be my
What's
Ag Day
that? March
partner?
March 10th or something?
March 11. You want to come to
I'm
Ag
good.
Day?
I'm good. Probably not, but I'll celebrate.
Well, I'm checking with Isaac. Do you want to go to Ag Day at the State House?
I saw your email. I didn't digest it as much to know if I really want to go.
I'm putting you on the spot. Well,
I
okay,
think it will be great.
Here's why I'm asking. What I've gone the last 3 or 4 years, I can't remember, and I always partner with Martha's Vineyard Ag Society. We always share a table together. Sometimes Sustainable Cape also. But what is required is each exhibitor who represents their location or their, the shellfish people, the dairy people, they have ice cream, whatever. We need to bring something, and I don't know, is it possible for us to get some venison meat and make like venison meatballs and take those to serve at, is it only available to the food pantry is my question? Or is there any additional venison that we could showcase for Ag Day?
Okay, two things on that. The first is the season ended yesterday, and we have only 3 deer to process, which will give us for probably 20 pounds each, and then that will be given out. Nourish Nantucket handles the distribution. We give them what we have, and they choose either it goes to the food pantry, to Pipenanka, or to their prepared meals. So Nourish Nantucket will be, Meg will be the best person to ask. However, she may not have the supply because we're giving her tomorrow 45 pounds to go to the pantry, and we will remain with a little bit for next week. So if it's March and you want something, you have to ask her now. So whatever
Mhm.
last portion she gets, she can give to you. However, there is also a possibility that we get a deer damage permit, which will take us into
Yeah.
March 21st. If we
Mhm.
get that, then we will be able to have venison
Okay.
that probably Meg can give you some.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll be talking to Meg. Thank you
Yeah.
for that information. But as far as you know, once it's been processed, you can't sell it, but it's generally available to um, food insecure or other outlets, including
Yes.
the Agriculture Commission, for purposes
Yeah.
of showing off how amazing our deer donation program has been.
I
I
think that if Meg will easily get some packages for you, she can have us give you some packages, and
think.
because you're using it for a good cause. However, the people that really qualify to get it in the beginning, there is really no exemption. It just depends on how much volume you have. Because when we were starting, we thought we would get, for example, 200 deer donated, and maybe 1 week we will have an overflow of their packages when Ruth has taken enough, and then whatever remains we could open to the public for at least 1 day a month to come and get some. But it never happened. We couldn't even certify the 3 partners that we initially thought we would give.
That's
So
great.
there is no like that we should give it to only a certain category, but it just makes more sense to give to the food insecure, because at least we have the food pantry that knows the people that would put it to good use.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Well, it doesn't sound like a no then. We'll just have to figure out if it's accessible. And then when will you know from the state whether the deer damage permit will be extended so that you can use that other field?
So that was the application was submitted.
Uh-huh.
So anytime, uh, maybe by the end of this week, we may be able to know. However, that will be put out. Land Bank will put out a notice, so it will be public for everybody to know when it's ready.
Okay.
However, the application allows us to go until the one we applied for until March 21st. So that means it will be great if we know this week and they start uh, harvesting deer next week. That gives us good time to work with the animals. So we're hopeful, but I can't tell the exact date. And once it's out, I think the news posts have already been written, just waiting to send
Yeah.
it out to
The
people. Yeah.
issue. But that would extend it until March 21, right?
Yeah. No, that's just for they already extended for Nantucket for us to be able to go until February 14th, Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard. So this is just specifically for one area on Nantucket,
Yeah.
and the permit will only be for the land bank and the people that will be volunteering to manage the deer on our behalf. Yeah.
Right. But that on that property, it would allow your volunteers, Elmer Fudd and the other hunters, to kill deer up until March 21. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
At Beechwood Norwood
Yes.
only. Yeah.
Then my next question was going to be, just for my own interest, how many deer this year was Boynton Lane able to process?
We received 58 deer.
Uh-huh.
Our target was if we could get 50, they will help us like go through the process and know that the facility is set up for the future and we know the flow, try out the workers to see that they are trained and they are getting their speed. And we got 58, which is amazing, 8 extra of what we targeted. And if we get the deer damage permit, that will obviously go up to almost like probably 60,
75.
60 something or 70,
Yeah.
which will be great. So we got 58 deer, donated almost almost 1,000 pounds. Like it's in the 900 pounds range of venison to the food pantry together with Nourish and Pipenanka.
Mhm.
And yeah, that was great first year because it was really quick and we had to change the building, make it better, go to the health department,
Yeah.
do all the paperwork, and we went through it. And that gives us confidence that if we try to do poultry or anything else, we know at least the flow of how things should be, and probably will be easier. But venison was great.
No, you guys freaking hit it out of the park. And that's why I feel like this would be a great program to highlight at Ag Day. I mean, I really feel like others would be astonished, jealous, and would want to replicate it. So you should
Yeah.
come. You should come with me. Well, we can have a little party at my house. We'll be making, venison meatballs in tomato sauce and then dip something natural baguettes in it. That's the plan. We have to give it out all this food to all these people, and it would blow their mind. So think about
All
it.
right.
Think about
Sure,
it.
I'll let you
Wait, what did
know.
I make? Did I make something scallop quiche?
Yes, whatever you made last year was so good.
That was my first time ever making that.
That was so good. I mean, I was the most popular table. I was fending people off going, "You've been here before. Go away." Great. Shove them back. Um, the next thing I wanted to talk about was I got approached through MDAR again about the fact that Nantucket had years ago fallen out of being a Massachusetts conservation district. And I thought, well, how could that be? But there is a meeting on February 25th at 5:30 p.m. available to anyone who wants to Zoom in. I think you do need to register. But the benefit of reclaiming our conservation stature uh, enables us to get all kinds of different grants and who knows what.
Is
So
that something the town would have to opt into?
I think any conservation farmers are invited, like I don't know what it's going to take to get the switch to flip to conservation.
Seems
But
like how could we not be
I
in the
know
conservation
who
district with more conservation than anything else?
who let that lapse. I don't know, but
Yeah, like is that just like a town like filing thing or?
yeah, like somebody forgot to do something. But at any rate, I'm just alerting everybody that February 25th at 5:30, I'm going to be on that call, and I think it's important that we get as many voices from Nantucket who see what the benefit is to, say,
I
yep,
wonder
we
if
want to do it.
Tuckernuck is a part of it.
I don't know.
Sorry.
I just said I wonder if Tuckernuck is like a part of the conservation district thing.
Well, but then, I mean,
No,
Tuckernuck is
the
part of the county,
nearest
right?
that is on is Martha's Vineyard under Dukes County. Theirs is running. I attended a meeting, I think 2 weeks ago, their meeting, and actually they are using funds from this conservation district to run their biochar processing.
There you go.
So I think that would be great. So
Yeah.
when that lady, Stephanie, and I think their director was called Pavante. We had a meeting. They called Rachel and asked about reinstating this Nantucket as a conservation district.
Mhm.
And then Rachel tried to ask the town if it's something that is fine, and looks like it's fine. It can be reinstated. And I
Mhm.
think it requires a public hearing, not really through the Nantucket town, but it could be like a Zoom meeting, like she is preparing,
Mhm.
and then I think requires 5 members, between 4 to 5, between 4 to 7, but you can have any in between for
Mhm.
it to run. And I think she says they hire for us an administrator, and she feels like if Nantucket is reinstated, they can merge the administrator of Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard. That way, I think that person lets us know of the available grants that we can apply for, and I think every year automatically get one grant that runs the office, and then you can apply for grants that allow you to do special projects like the biochar or restoration of the harbor line. It has to be for the farmers and for, I think, the harbor.
It
Yeah.
sounds like Grange, like like the Grange program, which I only heard about. I mean, we don't really have that out here anyway
No, we
either.
don't. Yeah.
Mm.
But that's what this kind of sounds like to me, like, like you're part of this bigger thing that allows you to have grants or just to like keep track of
It's
concert.
crazy
Obviously,
not
that
to
one's
do it.
conservation.
Yeah.
Well, especially if they'll give you like an administrative person to run it through
Yeah.
the grant. Like if it runs itself, it's like, oh, why would you not? Interesting. I wonder if anybody knows about that, like, from past generations.
I
Yeah,
think
I
this is
think
something. Oh, sorry.
we asked, I think, from Linda Loring and Vince from the health department, and they're like they tried also to reinstate. I think Linda Loring tried to reinstate it like 10 years ago, and they were unable. They
Hmm.
By then there were no grants to reinstate the districts, and Stephanie told us they just got the grant after the president freed them, I think, early last year. So they want to use that money to reinstate all the districts that are not. By the time Nantucket tried, Linda Loring tried, I think 10 years ago, he says, there was nobody that tried to help them reinstate it. And right now there are funds, and they are trying to reinstate all the inactive conservation districts. But the time that Nantucket fell out is like in the 80s. I think that's why people were saying it's not recent, it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
is the land bank going to run with this, or is this something the Ag Commission could take a role in, or how can
Land,
either Sustainable Nantucket or the Ag Commission be helpful?
the land bank was just contacted because they were told we support agriculture on the island so much, and it's mainly helpful to the farmers to bring closer services that they may need, consultation and grants, but not necessarily that we have to run it. Rachel only was telling them if we are to do it, to do anything, is having me, part of my hours, be dedicated to be a member of, or among the 5 if I have the time. But Land Bank is not running it. It's governmental. Well,
Mm.
they said when she explains it, it's like a governmental and also public, just like Land Bank. So when they are explaining it, it confuses, but they are a branch of NRCS, so which is governmental, but
Yep.
they
Well, it's
have
funded by tax dollars, right? So
no, I
it's
don't,
not.
they're not, it's not funded by tax dollars. They just get grants from, they get money, I think, from NCRS, but this time only focused to the farmers and harbor restoration, which makes it, I think, quicker and easier rather than you going through an RCS like most farmers do, and it
Yeah.
takes forever.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to being on the call, and we can all ask these questions. Like, there's
Yeah.
no reason we shouldn't be a conservation, district, and whatever we need to do to get back on sides, and then immediately seek the opportunities before the government runs out of money.
Yeah, I think the Agriculture Commission sustainable, all of us together, but the agriculture, the Ag Commission will be the best to dig deeper, and we ask a lot of questions. I've registered to be on that call, and probably we will also struggle to get members, but if the Ag Commission members and maybe sustainable people are interested in being on that committee, then we will easily make the number of 5 that is needed.
Oh, no problem.
Because
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
that's the
we could get
problem they
sustainable
always
farmers
find.
to jump on.
Yeah, I think the farmers can easily jump on this because it has benefits. It's hard to have them be on the Agriculture Commission because they feel like there is no budget for that, but the other has some sort of money to work with.
Do we need to, I think I sent it to, I mean, I sent this notice to every farmer I could think of. Now, whether Abby passed it along to Jeff Carlson, I don't know, but if it is also to benefit harbors, then, whether it's Shab, whether it's Jeff Carlson, whether it's the Nantucket Shellfish Association, we can certainly get 5 people. I know that much. It's just a matter of making
Yeah.
sure the right people know what's at stake and, getting them to remember to show up. So
Yeah.
I'll send around another notice, with,
Or NBI. Like I feel like everybody that's on NBI is like into invested into it and especially if it's Harbor Health as well.
hmm, right.
The same thing, something else earlier, and somebody was talking about something and I was like, oh, NBI would be a great place to
Is that the biodiversity initiative?
yeah. Hold on one second. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What's up?
He's gonna do power switch right now.
Okay.
So it will be.
I'm gonna have no power in a minute, so I'm sorry.
Oh, great.
If I just disappear, that's why.
Well, I mean, I think we're pretty close. I'll send around another email blast and I'll add a few more people to the notice of this district meeting on the 25th. I don't have anything else. Does anybody else?
So
No,
I mean, Dylan's gonna raise chickens and then we're gonna do a training in June.
I'm hoping by June.
That's
So-
MPPU stuff, and then if anything else at the Boynton Lane is separate, like Isaac will let us know. I'm just curious if there's anything that we can do to help, but
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like it, once
I
it's
would like
built.
to know how many people are raising chickens as meat birds, like at what point, I would like to do a WhatsApp and have everybody who's,
But this is the thing with that, it's not legal to sell them.
yeah. So most of the people will say they don't have the birds, but at least they will express the need that if there was a way to process them and be able to sell them, I can raise. Yeah.
Okay.
However, right now, the survey will probably give us probably Dylan if he even starts. The rest have layers.
Right. Yeah. Everybody has layers and those are not, we don't need to eat those. You could slaughter them, and then you could
Yeah.
give them to people who want to eat them, make stock. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, but at least, that WhatsApp group will enable us to know who could easily raise if there is opportunity to make money
Yeah.
out of it. Yeah.
Right. Well, I'll follow up with Sam and Abby. I can follow up with the Bartletts and just see what they're thinking, Like I would love to
Yeah.
have more compost piles that could process chickens. I don't think we'll be able to do that many off our site because it's not that big. But at any rate, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Isaac, what cleaning solution do you guys use? Do you use Simple Green or do you have something more environmentally okay to sanitize everything down and
No, it's not Simple Green. We use it's not chlorine based, but I can get you that information, but it's not Simple Green, and
Yeah.
we use a little bit, but it has to be like restaurant and food grade.
yeah.
And yeah, we follow the list, and I'll give you the exact name of what we use.
Yeah, I think I ordered a bunch of that stuff from a place called Millhench, and they supply all the restaurants on the island. So I think I have tubs of that somewhere. Probably.
Yeah.
toxic wasteland. All right, the final thing, we're supposed to approve the minutes from our December 3 meeting, and I don't remember having that meeting, but can I have a vote to approve the minutes of the December 3 meeting?
Aye.
Good. Ella disappeared. I will second them.
All right.
And that, I think, brings us to adjournment. And I thank you all for joining.
Right.
Thank you so much. Isaac, when I'm back in on the island, I'll look you up. Let's go have a coffee. I just want to shoot the breeze with you.
All right, that would be great.
Great. And definitely check your calendar for March 11 because it would be a lot of fun to have you there.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll plan on that.
Okay.
All right. Thank
Talk
you
to you
so
soon.
much.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Katie.
Yeah, of course.